they're getting reports.
I can already see it.
Just seconds into the interview, an armed man walked up to the group and opened fire.
Sir, did you check your basement?
Did you check your basement?
Me, I set it on fire.
Live television. Anything could happen. You're not prepared, and you can't edit anything out. In today's video, we are going to be seeing the 4 most disturbing moments caught on live TV footage. And yes, the camera is in front of the title, so I had to slightly tilt my head. Let's get into it.
On the morning of August 26, 2015, WDBJ reporter 24-year-old Allison Parker and her cameraman 27-year-old Adam Ward visited the Bridgewater Plaza near Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia. Their goal was to do a live interview with the executive director of the local Chamber of Commerce, Vicki Gardner, about an upcoming event at the lake. Things went just as planned initially, with Adam setting up the camera equipment and Allison starting the interview at 6.
What do we think is gonna happen here? I could see an accident occurring where they're just accidentally going down. What if they fall over the railing or the whole wood thing collapses? I could see that, but I'm unsure.
What none of them knew, however, was that they were about to become the victims of a crazed stalker. Just seconds into the interview, an armed man walked up to the group and opened fire. The live feed cut back to the in-studio
What the heck? Just get the chilling scare censored that.
reporter who was just as shocked at what happened as the many viewers watching live.
Okay, not sure what happened there. We will, of course, let you know as soon as we find out what those sounds were from.
Tragically, by the time first responders arrived, both Allison and Adam had already succumbed to their injuries and passed away. Vicki was badly hurt as well, but she managed to play dead and ultimately
Vicki was a reporter who was... no, that was the executive they interviewed, right? Dude.
survived the encounter despite getting shot in the back. As for the perpetrator, he had already fled the scene by this point.
Yeah, rest in peace, I agree, dude. This is like, terrible thing to happen. But how random, like, I don't entirely get... Why would a random person just come up to you and shoot you as you're filming an interview? Like, he said stalkers, so I guess maybe he was stalking one of the 2 females. I don't know, maybe the stalker was after, like, the interview or something. Dude, terrible. Whenever something like this happens, it's... Nobody deserves to end up like this.
With no nearby CCTV capturing a clear image of his face or vehicle, investigators were left at a dead end. But then, someone at the WDBJ network analyzed the footage further, which revealed one blurry but still recognizable frame of the person responsible for this tragedy. This was 41-year-old Vester Lee Flanagan, a former WDBJ reporter who went by the professional name of Bryce Williams. He'd actually worked with both Allison and Adam in the past, but was fired from his job after Hirams received several reports of workplace aggression. However, what seemed like a disgruntled ex-employee lashing out at his former colleagues at first turned out to have a far darker backstory to it. You see, Vester...
Dude, I was ready for him to bash in the head of, like, another person. I was not prepared for him to do this little drum thing. Did you see what he did
former
here?
colleagues at first turned out to have a far...
Bro. Oof. Okay, well...
darker backstory to it. You see, Vester had an extensive history of being difficult to work with, long before he joined WDBJ. He was fired from one of his early reporting jobs from NBC affiliate WTWC in the year 2000 for, quote, odd behavior towards his coworkers. While the exact reason for his termination was never revealed to the public, from what I was able to find, it had something to do with him being aggressive and trying to intimidate others.
Yeah, obviously this is a very serious situation, we shouldn't make fun, but did chilling scares really censor the weapon in his hand? Probably some tiny handgun or something. But he didn't censor the entire wall filled with rifles? YouTube is surely not going to see this entire background being completely made out of freaking weapons. Yeah, but dude, crazy. Very crazy and sad thing.
But instead of admitting fault, he filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against his employer, which eventually ended with an out-of-court settlement. However, that was only the beginning. From there, he found work at multiple other stations, but struggled to build a career at one place, largely due to the many
okay.
got into with his...
Dude, I thought after he shot and killed his colleague, he filed a racial whatever lawsuit. I mean, I shot her, but I'm black. How do you like that? Okay, but now, that would have been crazy.
colleagues. He had severe anger management issues and would often resort to physically confronting his coworkers over even the smallest disagreements.
He had increasing conflicts with people at the station, especially the floor crew, some of the other reporters, some of the photographers in the field, to the point where he was threatening people, had some physical confrontations with a couple of people, and at one point became such a distraction that we finally had to terminate him.
He eventually secured a position at WDBJ in March of 2012, and it was the same story once again. It didn't take long for him to fall into the same pattern of anger and bullying there as well. Just months into his employment, the WDBJ management had already received multiple reports of his coworkers feeling threatened or uncomfortable working with him. In fact, his behavior at WDBJ was worse than at any of his previous jobs, leading to his termination in January 2013, less than a year after he started. He even had to be escorted out by police when he refused to accept his termination and threatened his superiors with violence. Vester once again tried to play the racial discrimination card and singled out Allison and Adam for the alleged racist behavior. However, a third-party investigation didn't find any evidence of discrimination and his case was thrown out. He likely named them because he knew they were among the coworkers who had filed.
One thing I wanted to say about the whole being aggressive at the workplace and all that, I'm very happy that I never had to deal with like actually physically aggressive people in this sense, but like some of you might know that I've also had my fair share of stories from my old workplace. Just today, literally today as we record this on the 1st of October, I just started my new work, and so far all the people I've met are very nice. Everything seems to be in order. We'll see how it's going to be over the next couple weeks. But like at my last workplace, I've also had some very, very rough times. But obviously, I'm super happy that I never had to deal with something this extreme. Someone actually being like physically violent. That's crazy.
Complaints against him. After his shameful termination from WDBJ, he struggled to find work elsewhere in the industry. And his resentment against the two colleagues he believed had destroyed his life only grew with each setback. This resentment reached its tipping point on the morning of August 26th.
Wait, okay, now I understand this. So basically, sorry that I have to pause once again already, but like, so he was actually not just some random stalker, but instead he was mad at those two people specifically because they reported him, or did I miss anything? Did those two people report him? Yeah, right? So he had a personal... okay, that makes much more sense. So literally because they got him fired because he misbehaved, he went ahead and, yeah, okay, I mean, we don't know exactly what happened yet, but like, wow, okay, that's a crazy thing to take someone's life over. That's messed up beyond anything. I mean, just taking someone's life in general is messed up, but for something this minor, dude.
2015, he tracked down where Allison and Adam were doing their next job and stalked them as they were getting ready to go live. As soon as they began the interview, Vester walked up to them and opened fire. But this was only part one of his plan. You see, while Adam's camera did catch Vester for a split second, the footage wasn't clear enough for the investigators to name him as the prime suspect with complete certainty. Fortunately, this doubt vanished quickly when, at 8:26 a.m., Vester faxed a 23-page manifesto to ABC News, admitting to everything. Though most of these pages were filled with nothing more.
You know what? If he faxed a 20-page manifesto to ABC, I would say it was him. Even though we can't really identify him in the footage, I would say it was him. Just my humble opinion as an amateur investigator. How about we take a closer look at him? I would say maybe we've got a perpetrator.
Than the incoherent ramblings of an extremely angry and mentally unwell man. In them, he described himself as a human powder keg just waiting to go boom, how he was angry at the world, and mentioned the Charleston church incident as his tipping point. How that connected to him taking the lives of his former co-workers was never entirely clear. Tracing his cell phone allowed the officers to find him on the highway, attempting to flee the state in a rented vehicle at 11:20 a.m. But when they tried to pull him over, he sped up and eventually crashed onto the side of the road. And before the officers could reach his car, he decided to end the chase with the firearm he had on him, bringing the manhunt to a sudden, shocking conclusion.
Wow, okay. That was the first case. Ah, dude. That was surprisingly hard. I mean, obviously it says for most disturbing moments caught on live TV footage, but like, wow. My condolences to the families, that's all I gotta say. That's a crazy one. That's a very crazy one.
On the 25th of June 2014, Charles Bothell went on the Nancy Grace Show seeking the public's help in finding his missing son. 12-year-old Charlie was first reported missing from his home in Detroit, Michigan 11 days ago on June 14th. His father, Charles, had been doing everything in his power to help locate his son, from going door to door in his neighborhood to spreading missing person posters throughout the city. Unfortunately, despite—
Man, I feel like the biggest douchebag. Like, I just want to clarify again, all of this is terrible, but it sounded like he was gonna say, from doing this and that to spreading misinformation on the internet. I guess my brain is just messed up from memes, but obviously he's spreading missing persons reports or something. Another tragedy, missing son. I hope they find him. Disturbing moments caught on live TV footage. Maybe it's a disturbingly good moment of them finding the son. That would be cool. I remember I saw a clip once where they were looking for a dementia patient, and all of a sudden, in the interview about this whole incident, a dementia patient just comes in, and he's like, "Ah, I might be the guy you're looking for." He didn't say that, but like, this is the story I want to see. Let's go.
dozens of people, including the FBI, looking for him, the young boy was nowhere to be found. And the hope of finding him alive was diminishing with each passing day. Appearing on live TV was Charles' last-ditch effort to raise awareness about his son's disappearance, hoping someone with the information might see the show. However, just minutes into the broadcast, the interview took a bizarre turn when Nancy received a report that no one expected.
The father of the missing 12-year-old boy, Charlie,
Okay, what's about to hit us? A bizarre turn?
with me is his father, Charlie Bothell. Charlie,
He did it himself. That, if that's not the case, then I'm terribly sorry. But like, what else could there be that nobody expects now? Okay, let's see.
we are getting reports.
I can already see it. Oh, nine. You know, oh, I actually got goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Dad learns on TV that his son was found in his basement. Oh God, I saw it coming. Oh my God, no.
Charlie, we are getting reports that your son has been found in your basement. Sir?
Apparently, while Charles was on TV,
What the fuck? Okay. Never saw that coming. But found, as in alive. Huh? Dude, please tell me he's alive and well.
investigators obtained a search warrant to conduct a thorough search of his home. There, they found Charlie huddled in the basement behind a massive pile of barrels and boxes. Upon hearing the news of his son's discovery, Charles reacted with complete shock.
How could your son be alive in your basement?
I have no idea.
However, something about his reaction felt extremely off. Many argued that a normal father would have ended the interview immediately and rushed to the son he hadn't seen in 11 days. Charles, on the other hand, seemed more concerned with denying the report and trying to prove his innocence.
I was just about to say, it felt kind of acted. It didn't... If I would think how am I gonna act this, I would also be like, wow. Oh. He doesn't seem to be too great of an actor. At first I was like, okay, maybe his son, I don't know, was playing hide and seek for 11 days? Don't ask me. But like, he was huddled together behind boxes? Was he even like locked in there? Yeah, probably the basement door was locked, probably. Dude, what the... This is crazy.
Sir, did you check your basement?
I checked my basement.
Oh, did you check your basement? Oh, no. Lady, what is your name? Nancy Grace. Nancy. If his son is in his... Did you check your basement? We're all happy. We're all happy the son has been found, okay? He has been found, yes. He's alive and well. But Nancy, come on. Did you check your basement?
The FBI checked my basement. The Detroit police checked my basement. My wife checked my basement. I've been down there several times. We've all been checking.
I can tell that he's been down there several times. That's pretty obvious, yeah? I can imagine.
He even lashed out at other reports for insinuating that he knowingly forced his son to hide in the basement, when in reality his actions were far more cruel than anyone could have expected. The truth came to light as soon as the investigators found Charlie. According to him, his stepmother, Monique Dillard Bothell, was the one who ordered him to hide in the basement. She also told him not to make any sound, no matter what he heard. From there, they spread the rumor that their son had gone missing and began looking for him. But despite their cries for help, they were very uncooperative with the police to ensure that Charlie wouldn't be found. Investigators only sought the search warrant because they suspected Charlie was already dead. As for why the couple would do this, that remains a mystery to this day. Both have continued to claim they knew nothing.
Okay, to be fair, I'm also asking myself, how is it possible that they can tell a child to hide in the basement and the FBI search it, assuming he said the truth here? How is a child able to hide in the frickin' basement and the FBI doesn't find him just because he's huddled together behind some boxes? GG's FBI. Well done.
They knew nothing about Charlie's whereabouts. Though, given what we know, the most likely explanation is that they wanted to exert even more control over his life. You see, when the investigators located Charlie, he had severe cuts and bruises on his body, likely from his parents. In addition to that, growing up, he also had to endure a grueling daily exercise routine that included 100 push-ups, 200 sit-ups, and 100 jumping jacks twice a day. Charlie was already homeschooled and cut off from the rest of society. Maybe the couple thought that faking his disappearance would allow them to do whatever they wanted without any oversight. Regardless of their intentions, their crime was clear as day. The two were arrested shortly after and stood trial over the upcoming months, with Charlie himself coming forward to testify against them. And while they were able to
I have to say, I'm super happy that they ended up finding him, and apparently, okay, maybe not completely unharmed, but like, he's gonna recover from what I've seen here. That's super cool. GG's Charlie for surviving that. How do parents do this, man? I mean, yeah, she's just the stepmother, but oh, nah, I don't even know what I could say to that. That's just sick. That's very, very sick. But yeah, it's super awesome that he's been found. That's very cool. And one thing, and that's what we're gonna get into now, I'm pretty sure. One thing that I like about the United States is not many things nowadays anymore, but one thing I do like is their prison sentences are on point. If you want to arrest someone for something anywhere on the planet, do it in the USA. You're gonna get some good punishment. So I'm looking forward to that. They deserve it. Their prison sentences? Really? Oh, you mean, I thought you already knew more about this, but in general, nah, I like it. Lock these people away so they never see the sun again.
Avoid jail time due to a plea deal, they lost complete custody of Charlie, who now lives safely with other relatives.
I sure hope so. Okay. But what was the sentence now?
While they were able to avoid jail time due to a plea deal, they lost complete custody.
I take everything back I just said. USA, even in that regard, you've got nothing. They got away. What? Oranged. Yeah, I see what you mean now. They got away. Okay. Yeah, good. After all, did you check in your basement? Dude, what the frick? I'm deeply disturbed. Luckily, we're gonna get to the next case. I'm just happy Charlie is okay. I hope he can move on from these terrible people. What the frick? Charlie, you are a hero. You are my hero.
Custody of Charlie, who now lives safely with other relatives.
I sure hope so, dude.
On the evening of November 19, 2014, the Rockville, Maryland Fire Department responded to an intense house fire. The fire had engulfed the entire double-story house and was getting more and more intense with each passing minute. It took them over an hour to get the fire under control, and the house was barely standing by that point. Now, fires like these can start for any number of reasons, from a stove left on to an electrical short. However, before the investigators could even think about determining the cause, 27-year-old Carlos Peralta, who was one of the
Say no more. He was the guy. He was the arsonist. I can 100% tell you. This is one of those situations where it's like, we interviewed this random bystander, or a resident in this case. What can you say about this? I don't know. I just got here, and then it turns out he was the arsonist. Again, Carlos, I don't know. Was it Carlos? If it's not the case, I'm very sorry. That's just my theory. We're gonna see. We're gonna clear your name afterwards if it doesn't end up being the case.
residents of the house walked up to an ABC7 reporter covering the incident live and made the wildest revelation. According to him, this fire was the result of arson. Not only that, but he was the one who started the fire just...
I swear I haven't seen this video yet. It's just obvious. Okay. I'll take it. What? He just comes up to the news reporters and he's like, yeah, by the way, this was arson. You know who did it? Me. What? But okay, yeah. Jamaica craft, you say, should work for the police. Okay, arrest this guy, boom. Actually, it's if he's a resident, and maybe if he also owns the place, I think it's totally legal, isn't it? Maybe he's gonna have to pay for the fireworkers, but okay, shocking revelation.
Hours earlier.
Me, I set it on fire.
Given the sheer strangeness of this unsolicited confession, the
I just do stuff like that to be funny, okay? We are trying to make... We want to make the situation better. Oh, thank you so much, Val, for the subgift to Junin. We just want to make the situation... It's a hard situation. We want to make it a little lighthearted. Okay, so I'm like, oh, I did it, and I'm trying to make it funny, okay? But that's literally what he did. Let's watch back. He literally came up and was like, yeah, I did it.
think about determining the cause, 27-year-old Carlos Peralta, who was one of the residents of the house, walked up to an ABC7 reporter covering the incident.
He walked up to an ABC7 reporter and he said,
Me, I set it on fire.
Me, I set it on fire. Carlos, please. Why did he probably did something illegal. He has drugs in there, or I don't know. So I hope this isn't true again, otherwise you're not gonna believe me anymore that I didn't see this yet. Something he did in there. I don't know, he wanted to burn his grandma or his, I don't know what. Something, he didn't just set his house on fire and was like, oh yeah, here we go. It was me. I set it on fire. That's, no.
Given the sheer strangeness of this unsolicited confession, the reporter didn't believe him at first. But Carlos was more than happy to provide more details of how he committed the crime.
I just poured gasoline on the floor, set it on fire, and went and buy a drink and came back.
Minutes later, he walked...
Usually, I have to admit, usually Chilling Scares is not a try not to laugh compilation, I swear. This is usually an actually, like, slightly scary, slightly interesting. I like Chilling Scares, one of my favorite channels. And then we have our boy Carlos over here.
Set it on fire and went and buy a drink and came back.
Carlos. Why did you do this? What are you hiding, my man? My man Carlos, what are you hiding?
Minutes later, he walked up to the police officers standing nearby and confessed to them as well. His clothes had the smell of gasoline.
Please tell me we're gonna see how he does that.
And a basic search revealed a lighter in his pocket, providing the officers enough
Carlos.
evidence to believe his story and arrest him on the spot. As for his motive, Carlos claimed that he did all this to get the media's attention about the...
I don't think they're showing us. Oh, Carlos. Oh, man. Look at his little smirk. Look at him. He's like, Oh, Carlos. Please, you are ruining my Chilling Scares reaction, Carlos. This is not supposed to be funny. I mean, the other ones also weren't supposed to be. Man.
Deplorable living conditions in that house. However, burning down the house he wanted to report on made little sense. That is, until investigators dug further into his history and discovered that he'd been suffering from schizophrenia as well as alcoholism for the past few years. He was also arrested for destruction of property.
Did I just make fun of a mentally disabled person? He's got schizophrenia? Carlos, I am very sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you. Without the prior knowledge, you know, man, you gotta admit it was funny, okay? I'm freaking stuttering. It's probably not funny. I'm very sorry. I didn't want to make fun of you, okay? It's not a cool condition. Now we understand why you were doing the way you're doing it. You weren't trying to cover anything illegal. I'm very sorry. We did have our fun. Eminem? Aye. Okay, let's keep going.
Also arrested for destruction of property just 2 weeks before this incident. Put simply, this house fire was the doing of a mentally troubled man who genuinely believed he was doing the right thing. The fire
And got made fun of by Modern Legends OP on live stream. I'm very sorry again.
ended up causing $400,000 in property damage. Fortunately, the other 5 residents, including Carlos's own mother, were able to escape without any harm. Though what happened to Carlos after his arrest was never made public. But given the severity of his crime, he was likely sentenced to several years in prison.
Wait, what? What you are trying to tell me is that 2 people who, like, tortured their freaking son over years and told him to hide in the basement, and we're like, oh yeah, he's just gone now, so they can torture them more or something or whatever, allegedly. Those people were like, oh yeah, we don't have to go to prison. Huh? And this guy? What? It's not his fault. What did he do wrong? He's got schizophrenia and then he has to do many years in prison? Carlos, free my man. I don't know about you, but I like Carlos now. I'm a fan. I don't think you should go to prison. Like, unless the next sentence is gonna be, oh yeah, because he actually also did stuff with... I don't know. I don't see why you should go to prison. Maybe you should see a therapist or something. Yeah, it's unfair. I don't think that should happen to people who are mentally... I don't know what the correct term here was. Nah, that doesn't sit right with me. Nope, I don't like that.
On July 27, 2007, news helicopters in Phoenix, Arizona were reporting on a live police chase that was happening in the city. The chase had begun about 22 minutes earlier when the police identified and pulled over a stolen flatbed pickup truck. In an attempt to avoid arrest, the driver, 23-year-old Christopher J. Jones, reversed into the police cruiser and tried to flee the scene. Unfortunately for him, word of the chase got out quickly, and minutes later, 6 different helicopters were tracking his every move. This included 1 police chopper and 5 others from different news stations.
And 1 toaster. As we can see, there was also a toaster chopper. That helicopter, it could have stayed on the ground. We really didn't need this one. This is not the most revolutionary camera angle either. Like, come on, that one could have stayed on the ground. We didn't need this 2 pixels in, like, sand color or whatever this is supposed to be. This looks like someone took a 2-pixel image from Google and put like 10 filters over it. That wasn't needed.
Eyes were fixated on the road. A tragedy was about to take place in the sky.
We'll see what happens here.
Much
He
further.
has stopped. This may be the end of this thing.
Please take it off.
I think I know this one. No. Okay, this is gonna be hard.
Okay, he's out. Okay, now it's a foot chase.
Okay, now he's jumped into
Now he's in another vehicle. Okay,
All right, they're
doors open,
closing in.
please,
Looks
okay.
like they've.
Oh, jeez.
We're gonna pull out. We don't know what has just happened right there. It looks like the police have closed in on him. We don't know what exactly has transpired between the police.
Seemingly out of
Yeah, seemingly we all know what just happened there. I think I've heard of this incident. I think I've seen this before. I think what happened here, you know, there were like so many different police helicopters. As I said, my words really hold true. That toaster should have stayed on the ground. I think as there were so many police helicopters in the air and all so close to each other, I think 2 crashed into each other. Dude, that's... I hope someone survived, but my hopes are not very high. Dude, yeah, that's a terrible tragedy. Terrible accident, man.
nowhere, 2 of the news helicopters' feeds abruptly stopped. They had crashed into each other before tumbling to the ground and exploding on impact. One of the helicopters involved in this crash belonged to an ABC affiliate network, KNXV, piloted by Craig Smith with camera operator Rick Krolak. The other was reporting.
Why does he gotta look this cute too? Like, not cute as in weird or anything. Look at him. He looks like your cute grandpa. Oh man. He looks like he's so fun and, oh dude, like the other guys, well, they all look so chill. Dude, terrible. This shouldn't happen to anyone. That's so tragic. God, man, and it's probably not even their fault. Like, obviously, 6 helicopters, very close space, you're distracted, there's a chase. Oh man, nobody should have to. I swear to heck, both of these men, I don't know if he's already old enough, or was, rest in peace, but both of these people had probably awesome families, man. Dude, I'm so sorry for what happened here. That's actually just sad.
With camera operator Rick Krolak. The other was reporting back to an independent Phoenix station named KTVK with pilot Scott Bowerbank and photographer Jim Cox.
Yeah, they also look so nice. It's... even if there would have been one of them just looking like a freaking rat, or, I don't know, looking completely stupid, even then it would have been like, nobody deserved this. Like, that's so terrible. And this could have happened to anyone at any place and any time, and any place, any time. It could have happened to anyone. You cannot see something like this coming. It's just another day at work for you, and all of a sudden your life was cut short by a tragedy like this. Yeah, my condolences to the families.
All 4 were sadly killed instantly on impact, leaving the other reporters stunned and struggling to process the sudden tragedy.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Phoenix Tower, Skyblock 10. Just had a mid-air collision over here at the park. 2 helicopters. 2 helicopters down. Oh, my God.
Fortunately,
that is hard to listen to. You're a good friend, colleague, you probably like this guy. You know? This is like your man, your colleague, and you are at work and you have to see him get into an accident like this. You know he's not gonna make it, you know? Terrible. It was very, very hard to listen to that, I have to admit. Dude. I feel very sorry for all of these people involved.
The helicopter's crash landed in an empty park, avoiding any additional casualties. A later investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board concluded that the accident was the result of both pilots' failure to see and avoid the other helicopter. But that still raises the question of how. How could 2 experienced pilots make such a critical error? Well, the answer to that lies in how many news helicopters operated during that time. But first, an important thing to note is that when so many choppers are in close proximity, traditional air traffic control systems are not very useful. Instead, the pilots are instructed to operate under visual flight rules. In other words, they were responsible for keeping an eye on their surroundings and maintaining safe distance at all times. Now, this shouldn't have been an issue for experienced helicopter pilots like Craig and Scott. The issue, however, was that the 2 were doing a lot more than just flying the choppers. Not only did they have to monitor multiple communication channels with other helicopters, air traffic control, and the network, they were also reporting live on the action below as it unfolded before them. While juggling all these responsibilities, one of the pilots briefly lost awareness of their surroundings for just a few seconds. Tragically, that was long enough for the helicopters to drift too close and collide midair. The only silver lining was that
yeah, that's the only silver lining. There we have it. That's going to be a running gag if we keep watching Chilling Scares. But yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's a lot to do at the same time. You have to fly a helicopter, you have to report. Like for me, I don't want to compare my job to that job, or sadly it's not a job, but I can't compare what I'm doing here to their job, but I also, like, I'm playing Battle Horse and I have to perform well, but I also have to talk to people and chat. I also have to just say stuff and moderate and talk. It probably looks pretty easy, but it's actually not as easy, and you can very easily lose track over anything. Like, for example, something as important as this, can happen at any point in time. It's a very, very hard thing to do and a very hard job to perform. So yeah, sadly something like this can happen. Now let's get to the running gag. Mr. Chilling Scares, can you please say the line?
The only silver lining was that the incident led to major reforms in news helicopter safety, including news stations using a shared single helicopter feed and studio ground-based reporting, measures that continue to save lives to
I really enjoy that. GG's on that. Chilling Scares loves saying the silver lining. At least once per video. I've had videos where he said it 3 times. The silver lining. His favorite phrase his favorite thing to say. Once he stops saying that, we know his scripts are AI written. No AI would include the same phrase 3, 4, or 5 times in one video. Chilling Scares, you are a real one. GG's, man. Yeah, obviously very cool that such a tragic incident can lead to just, you know, reforms. Next time it's not going to happen because we're aware of this issue. We're going to pay more close attention. Safety protocols, very, very good. There's nothing good that can come out of a situation like this but this. You know, the only good thing is to make an effort to not do the same thing again next time. That's the only thing you can hope for. Man. Oh, frick. Yeah, the videos always end very suddenly. Oh, man. Yeah, I agree too, Chilling Scares here. The only silver lining that can come out of something like this is safety protocols. Next time it's not going to happen. That's literally the only good thing to come out of something like this. Hopes and prayers to the families of everyone involved, everyone who lost a relative here, everyone who got hurt. Terrible stories we had to see there. This was my first reaction, so don't be too hard on me. I'm still figuring out how to stop at the correct places, and my Stream Deck is also not working today, so instead of just easily pressing buttons to change between different camera angles, I have to click it on my other screen. So don't be too hard on me. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Be ready for the next one. Thank you for watching. See ya.